Have you ever had that feeling like I'm different or I feel different or there's just something about me that doesn't seem to fit in to where I am? Do people look at you strange? Do they act weird around you? Do they get weird looks, reactions from you that they don't like? Do you get comments from people that say, "Why do you do that?" Or "That's so weird or strange," or "You're odd"? Do you have people straight up telling you that the way that you talk to them creeps them out? Do you appear cold? Well, these are all things that I've experienced, and I'm sure that some of you have experienced as well. And that's exactly why I wanted to make this channel, because it's a space where people like you and people like me can talk about it and talk about what makes us different and embrace it and grow and challenge ourselves to use this gift that we have. And that's where I want to start, because it really is a gift and it probably doesn't feel like it. And that's probably why you clicked on this video, because you don't think it's a gift. You think it might be not worth having. Maybe you wish that you could experience life the way that everybody else does. But the reality is that you can't. And nobody can tell you how to act or tell you how to talk or tell you how to react. The truth is, we have to learn to actually be and express ourselves the way that our hearts truly desire, not out of a place of trauma or a place of hurt or conflict, but out of a place of a genuine desire to know oneself. And through that, other people will learn and grow with you. And that's part of the human experience. That's not just something for neurotypical people. That is something that you and I can learn too. And I just want to start by saying I am considered a high functioning autistic person. And that hasn't always been easy for me to say out loud. Um, it really is a challenge sometimes when you look at yourself in the mirror and you think, what do people see when they see the way I interact or the way I talk? But when you've truly accepted yourself, you will become more confident in that experience, in that identification that you have a gift. So the way that my high functioning autism was diagnosed actually came about because a friend told me that they think I'm autistic. And it's not really something that you expect. I mean, I certainly wasn't expecting it at the time. People never said things like that to me, and I never actually did research on autism really before that point. I knew about it, and I knew that there were challenges associated with it, but I had no idea that the spectrum was as wide as it was. I was thinking it was a very niche category. And it really is that spectrum of neurodivergence, which was able to encapsulate a larger percentage of the population that included me. So this individual said, "I think you're autistic," and yeah, I didn't know how to react to that. And at first, I guess I was a little bit off-centered, I guess, to put it lightly. I didn't I didn't respond in a way that maybe was kind. And over a period of a few weeks, a few months, I explored what it was to be autistic. Eventually, I went on to take an assessment, if you will, a prorated assessment meant to assess whether you have ASD or other conditions. So they don't just test for ASD, they test for anxiety disorders, they test for ADHD, they test for obsessive compulsive, bipolar. So all of these different things. And it's important to test multiple times. So don't just take one test, but you take several tests over the course of a few weeks to possibly months. And so that's what I did. I took those tests, and every single test confirmed my friend's suspicion that indeed I think differently. I have a gift that I had no idea about. I had some suspicion for a while. Um, the way that I process information, the way that I view emotions, the way that I talk to people, both at work and at home, it's different. And there's some masking that happens as well. So, anyways, this process led me to the conclusion that I am autistic. At first, I think I settled with it. I think it made sense. Logically, I was able to come to the conclusion that I was autistic, and it fit, and I accepted it. But I didn't really understand the implications of what that meant. I didn't understand how really that diagnosis affects the people around me. Because if those people don't know, they treat you like a regular person, And they don't understand some of the ways that you communicate and how they're different. There might be some frustrations with the way you communicate. But now that now that I knew this diagnosis, I was able to pinpoint exactly why I did those things, why my brain decided to choose that way of communicating. And it's not wrong. There's nothing inherently wrong about somebody with autism. And you might be feeling that as yourself, like, am I wrong? Am I doing this wrong? And it's not wrong. It's absolutely fine. The question is, how do you allow this diagnosis or this label or even this gift, as I've described, how do you allow it to change your life? So I've been on a journey, and I've been exploring how the way I communicate comes across to people and what I want to do about it. Thank you for listening. If you want to find out more about my journey, you can continue watching the videos in my channel. I'll post a couple links here so you can watch the next video. But hopefully I've given you some insight into how possibly autism and other neurodivergent labels, gifts, can be exactly that, as a gift. Come back soon, and if you feel like it, share your story with me. I'd love to hear it. I really do enjoy hearing stories. That's kind of one of my big things. You'll hear more about it. All right, thank you for tuning in.